If you don't master these 5 essential skills as a content creator, then it's going to be nearly impossible for you to scale your business in the current market. In fact, these skills I'm about to share allowed me to go from getting rejected 127 times in a row by brands that could not care less about me to landing 5-figure deals with some of the top brands in the world in a matter of 2 years. So today we're in this interesting market where so many creators are sold the idea that they can just master one skill or one service, then you should be able to successfully go full-time as a content creator. But unfortunately, that is not the case, because as more people come into the industry trying to sell the same service or the same skill, it'll inevitably lead you to have a more and more difficult time selling high-ticket services, because there's just so much competition from other people selling the same thing. So in other words, you're becoming more and more of a commodity every single day because so many people sell the exact same thing that you do. I mean, there's tens of thousands of other creators who have work at least similar quality to yours, if not better, and that number is growing every single day. But unfortunately, the demand for these services is not matching the supply. And that's a huge problem for you if you want to be able to charge those high ticket rates and actually go full time. So over the past 90 days, I've talked to literally thousands of creators, and a lot of them have experienced very similar issues. They're frustrated because they're not getting many positive responses from brands. They're tired of hearing from brands that they don't have the budget or that they're going with the cheaper guy. And ultimately, they're just starting to feel the impact of all the competition, and they're starting to realize that they need to do something different to stand out from the pack. And as we've onboarded more and more people into our flagship program, we've started to realize that there's a common thread in terms of why people actually join. So it's usually one of these 3 reasons. So one, they're just tired of charging a few $100 and working like crazy, feeling like they have to take on every gig. The second one is they feel like they have an inconsistent client inflow and they never know where the next client is coming from, which is obviously super stressful. And the third is that they're just tired of being treated like a commodity. I was talking to one of my creator clients the other day, and he said that he feels like photographers are treated like manual laborers, you know, just like a plumber that shows up, you do the job, you get paid, you leave. And unfortunately, that is true because a lot of clients don't respect photographers because you're replaceable. They can just find someone else to do the job. So what we do is we help our creator clients build out better offers so they can stop being treated like a commodity or like a manual laborer and actually add value to the brand. And what this does is it allows them to charge high ticket rates. We've had creators charge 16 grand, 19 grand to clients that are happy to pay those rates plus retainers on the back end because they were able to dial in their offer. But I'm gonna be honest, those are not the types of results you can expect unless you first master these 5 skills I'm about to show you in this video. So the main reason I'm making this video is because I've realized after getting on calls with creators that a lot of people just aren't ready to work with us because they lack the foundational skill set to be able to command those high ticket rates. And it's not just working with us, it's just to be able to compete in the industry in general. Because honestly, if you don't have these 5 skill sets, you're pretty much dead in the water already. The biggest problem we've seen creators have is not that you lack the knowledge of what to do to scale your business, but more so that you lack those foundational skill sets to be able to even execute on what's required in order to sell and create high impact assets for brands. So in this video, really my goal is to expose to you what those 5 skill sets are. And they're based on my own insights that I've gained through working with companies like Marriott, Four Seasons, Westin, and a whole lot more. And it's also the skill sets that our most successful creator clients already possessed that allowed them to get amazing results super quickly. So here is the 5 skills. The first one is probably pretty obvious, but it's content creation. You have to have a portfolio of the type of work that you want to do for a client. So if you want to do hotel work, you need to have a hotel portfolio. If you want to work with outdoor brands, you got to have that type of portfolio. If you want to do more storytelling work, well, you need storytelling portfolio to be able to show the brands. And if you don't currently have a portfolio for the type of client that you're trying to work with, then you need to get that as soon as possible because that's what you're going to show to prove that you actually know what you're doing. Just a quick example for myself, I knew that I wanted to work with boutique hotels, but I had no portfolio or case studies about it. So I actually booked a trip to Bali and shot the Airbnbs that we were staying at. I paid out of pocket for it just so I could have the portfolio that I later leveraged to be able to land my first paid hotel gig. And I'm going to be honest with you, it wasn't the greatest content in the world, but it worked to get my first gig. So I think it goes without saying that having great content is an absolutely mandatory thing if you want to be a professional content creator. So if you look at your work right now and you're like, I don't know if it's something that a brand would actually hire me for, then that's where you need to start and build your portfolio for the types of work you want to do. The second skill set is creating hooks and stories. Now, just as a prerequisite, if you're one of those photographers who just refuses to do video, either number 1, learn how to do it, or number 2, hire somebody who knows how to do it really well, because by not offering video to your clients, you're leaving a huge amount of money on the table. I mean, I think it goes without saying that video is king in today's market, and especially short form video. And being able to produce highly effective videos is a huge skill set that brands need in order to be able to run for their ad campaigns or their organic social content. This is easily one of the most important skill sets you can develop in today's market, and if you have it, you're going to be far more in demand. So it's one thing to make content that looks good, but it's a whole nother thing to make content that makes a random stranger on the internet actually care about a brand. So you accomplish this by doing two things. Number one, you got to create a hook that makes someone want to watch the video past the first 2 to 3 seconds. And the second thing is you got to have a story, a narrative, or some kind of engagement piece that makes somebody want to share the content or engage with it further. This type of content is super important for brands to have because it makes their marketing dollar way more efficient. It lowers their overall marketing spend, and in general, it helps build the brand in a much more efficient way that just average content could never do. So if we step back, the content that you produce actually determines how cheap a client's leads are. So if you get really good at it, then they're going to keep you on retainer because they know that you produce. That brings me to the third skill, which is brand strategy. Now, believe it or not, there's actually different types of content. Not all content's created equal, and there's different types of content that you'll use at each stage of the customer journey. So I'll just give you a quick example of my client, Cynthia, who landed a $19,000 product photography deal.
The beauty company booked me for $19,000.
Yes! That's awesome! Let's go! Because she created content that enhanced each stage of the customer buying journey. So the first thing is she created content designed to get attention. So this is stuff that's viral, stuff you can use for ads. The second thing is content designed to build brands. So these are branding type of videos. And the third is content designed for conversion, which is typically used on a brand website. So what she did was package all of these different types of content into one cohesive package that solved every problem that the brand had. And as a result, she was able to charge significantly higher than what she would have been able to charge if she just said, I'll do product photos for you. Which brings me to number 4, which is generating attention at will. So if you're a content creator that's really good at storytelling and branding and all this kind of stuff we just mentioned, but you don't know how to market and sell yourself, then you just have a hobby. And I know it might not sound fun and exciting, but you need to learn how to sell yourself so you don't go broke. You need to learn how to transform random strangers on the internet into high-paid clients, and you can do it a whole lot of ways, whether it's running paid ads or content or doing outbound, but the main concepts pretty much remain the same throughout. The first thing is you got to create intrigue in the solution that you're offering, and it's got to be something where someone stops and is like, oh, well, that's interesting. I want to check it out more. And then the second thing is we got to reduce the friction to be able to engage with us. So we got to make it as easy to respond to as humanly possible. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, that kind of sounds like creating hooks and stories, then you're exactly right. That's exactly what you're doing. So it kind of carries over. Now, I will say a lot of creators join our program having never done sales before, so they don't have a whole lot of confidence in being able to do it, which is completely understandable because they've never done it before. But what we do is we actually give them the frameworks and processes that they need in order to be able to actually succeed. So just as an example, one of my clients, he had never been on a sales call ever in his life. So what we did is we really drilled it, we really practiced, and we did some role playing together. So I was the client, he was him, and then we reversed roles so that he could see common objections, all that kind of stuff. And because he practices so much, he was actually able to land a hotel deal, which was his first ever paid project because he got on a sales call and actually knew how to run it.
Initially, it's 16, but if we continue that for the whole year, it would be upwards of like 50 grand for the year for one client.
Which brings me to the fifth and final skill that you are going to need in order to succeed with your business, and that is creating incredible offers. So great offers make you incomparable against the competition, and they also allow you to charge significantly higher rates than anyone else is charging because you solve every little problem that the client would potentially face with your content. If I were to guess, you're probably being price shopped right now because your offer is extremely similar, if not exactly the same, to every other photographer out there. And to be honest, in the eyes of the brand, you're just like that plumber we mentioned earlier, where I can just look up a plumber and find 15 of them and just see who's the cheapest because you're being treated like manual labor because your offers is the same. So what you have to do is create something so much better and so much more unique than everyone else. And that's what we did with Trevor. And that's why I was able to charge a $16,000 rate to a resort in Dominican Republic that was actively denying 1 to 2 creators every single day for years. And we did this by just finding what the client's main problems were. It's not just that they have bad content, they had bad content for a reason. So we had to expose what that reason reason was, and then create solutions around getting them to their dream outcome. So ultimately, those are the 5 skills that allowed me to go from charging just a few $100s to landing 5-figure deals with relative ease. So like I said, one of the main reasons I'm making this video is because I realize so many creators just lack these foundational skills. So if you're somebody who's watching this video and you're just like, well, maybe I don't have all the skill sets that I actually need to be able to succeed moving forward, but you also realize that you need to learn them, then go ahead and comment skills below this video. And if I get at least 15 people that comment that, then I'll go ahead and make a live webinar that goes through each of these 5 skills and how you can develop them for yourself. But I'm only going to do it if there's enough interest. So make sure if you actually want to see that, then go ahead and comment skills down below. Now, on the flip side, if you watch this video and you're like, I think I have all those skill sets already, but you're still being treated like a commodity, I actually put together a free training. You can check it out in the link in the description below, where I basically show you exactly how to start charging high ticket rates so you can scale your business to $10,000 a month minimum over the next 90 days. So if you want to check that out, it's absolutely free. You can check it in the description below. But apart from that, if you liked the video, give it a massive thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.